anyways, I call our meeting to order at 7:34 p.m.
Okay. Now, I'm not trying to put this on live anywhere because the last time I did it, everything was lost and I'm getting an echo now. Even though I'm using my Jabra headset, which doesn't usually do this.
I think it's from Teresa's thing because it hears you and her speaker.
Right, and she just muted herself. Thank you, Teresa. I can mute myself if you want to go through. We have minutes from September before Matt was here. Bring those up. Did not bring those up. Oh, it's not from.
Before we get into the minutes, why don't we have a real quick, if everyone doesn't mind, for a second. I don't know if Matt, how well you know us all, but why don't we introduce ourselves real quick, and Matt, you tell us a little bit about yourself. So we'll start off with you. Does anybody mind?
I'll go first.
All right, go for it, Pua.
Okay. I live in Bethany. I've been taping annual town meetings in Bethany since 1997. And in 2003, when I learned that some of my friends in Woodbridge were starting their own channel, I thought it would be fun to go see how it worked in hopes that I could do the same for Bethany. It doesn't work because Bethany is a Comcast territory and Woodbridge has its town-specific channel because Cablevision gave it to all the towns in its area. So I work for all of you guys. And this commission started out as an ad hoc oversight committee, and they realized that they couldn't carry on the channel just with volunteers. So when I said, hey, I could be a cameraman, camera person, camera woman, they said, we need a coordinator. Please be our coordinator. And it went from there. Teresa was one of the first people we saw when it became a commission. So why don't you go, Teresa?
So at the very young age of 19 years old, less gray and less wrinkles, I started. I was started when we were an ad hoc committee, and I think I was on the library commission. I don't forget what commission I was on back then. And yeah, I've been on ever since. Alden has also been on an extremely long time with me. But yeah, I've been on since I was 19 years old. So we went from camcorders with batteries and tape to hard drives to buying stuff on eBay. And yeah, we've been all over the place. Pooh and I are in it for the long haul. So yeah, we've been doing it for a while. And I remember when I was also on what's the committee in Orange, and Alden was on it for a while too. Nancy,
the Cable Advisory Council.
Yeah, we were on that too, and yeah, just been doing it forever, and I can't see being on any other commission anyway. So yeah, I guess who has seen me grow, right? So now I have 3 children. So
and your family too. Yep.
That's me. And if you haven't seen me here, then you'll see me at the pool. So next up, let's pick Mary. No? Okay. Toby, you're it.
Sure. So, good evening. Hey, Matt. My name is Toby Wangu. I've lived in Woodbridge all my life. I serve on the Economic Development Commission and the Government Access TV Commission, as I'm sure you can tell. Happy to serve with you, and yeah, let me know if I can be of help.
Toby also has the coolest name known to human beings. But they, yeah. Oh, I left that out. I've been in Woodbridge my entire life. Thank you, Toby. But yeah, awesome name. Awesome name. I wish I had a cool last name. Anyways, all right, Alden.
Hello, so I am Alden. I moved to Woodbridge, I believe it was 2006, approximately. My wife grew up in Bethany, and her grandparents grew up in Woodbridge. So we've got long ties to this area, even though my ties are more recent. Soon after moving to Woodbridge, I ended up on this commission, and as has been mentioned, I also did serve. Actually, I served on the There's a subcommittee of the Cable Advisory Committee that deals with grants. That was the part that I was on. And I also served as a selectmen's representative to an organization called Soundview. And when eventually we get to a point that we can all get together in person, maybe over drinks, we can all tell stories about Soundview. I work in Middletown, working in healthcare. My life has been complete chaos recently, which is why I work Tuesday evenings until 7. So these meetings, I'm ending up joining on via phone. So that's a quick intro to me.
And if you ever seen Alden online, he also doubles as St. Nicholas during the holiday season. Has an awesome beard. So they yeah, it does a lot health-wise for the community, and it's he's your go-to person for anything right now COVID related. But yeah. And do we have Mary? Is Mary here?
No, I'm sorry.
That's cool.
I sent, yeah, the way I had set up this meeting, it was supposed to send automatic reminders. I don't know if
Yeah.
you received them because I didn't send them to myself.
I just know.
Yeah, Teresa, I've been receiving them, and so I think everyone
good.
else should be. Yeah, the Messenger WebEx.
Nice.
So it's not as bad as I thought it might be.
No. All right. So let's go back to the minutes. Toby, I
Yeah.
believe you were at the last meeting.
And I'm sorry it says September. It should be the November minutes.
Did you guys want me to quickly tell you about myself as well, or?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Matthew.
No, we don't care about you at all, Matt. You just
I
you
get
just
for
are
like
odd.
at least 20 more years saying that I have 3 children, all within like 2 years because my twins are 1 year old and Catherine's 3, so I have an excuse for at least 20 more years. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, no problem at all. And honestly, Alden, Teresa, Toby, who I'm really excited to work about, each and every one of you. After hearing a little bit of you guys talking about yourselves, it sounds like, to put it bluntly, you guys really know your stuff. And I think I can learn a lot from you guys, and I'm looking forward to being a part of this. I'm a lifelong Woodbridge resident. Not quite starting at 19 like you did, Teresa, but I'm at the ripe age of 26, and don't let this baby face fool you. I'm ready to work, and I'm looking forward to being a part of this. So thank you again for accepting me and letting me be a part of this.
I think I found Mary as call-in user number 2 here.
Calling user number 2.
Mary, hello. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's better than franchise resale.
I can't seem to make her. I can't get her on the panel somehow.
That's okay. Unmute. Can you unmute her?
She is now unmuted.
Nice. Go for it, Mary.
Mary?
Oh, what? What do you want me to go for?
Oh,
Just tell us. Yeah.
Oh, for me introducing myself? Oh, Matt knows me well. He knows my husband. He went to school with my son, so he knows the Hill family very well. So I don't really think I need any introduction.
Okay, that's okay. Well, Then let's get to business here.
So back to the minutes.
Our minutes.
All right, which are supposed to be the November minutes, not the September. I don't know how I got that there.
That's okay.
Actually, so
All right.
in November,
Chance to review those?
that was when
Yes.
we were talking about the, oh, wow, that one. First of all, we took care of the operating budget before we had to submit it in January, so we wouldn't have to meet in September. And then we went through the whole thing about how other government channels are governed,
Right.
because the question had come up whether the department should come directly under
Right.
administration and not have an oversight
Yep.
commission like this.
Yep.
And people at the time said, no, definitely it should be, they wanted to keep the commission as is. For Matt's information, I think there was a general move to sort of cut down the number of committees and commissions to keep track of. For one thing, the Board of Selectmen tried to, and the Board of Finance as well, tried to set up liaisons so that they know what all the commissions are doing. Just a good idea. But all the selectmen probably start feeling overtaxed when they have to follow too many of them. For example, Joe Crisco now has to liaison with both fire and police commissions, and police commission just started moving their meetings so that they're the same as fire commission. So he's trying to do 2 meetings at the same time. I think that's where it was coming from. But for the time being, we're still a commission, and we're in the ordinances. Anyway, that's what happened in November. Oh.
Yeah. So do you want to go to approve the minutes?
I think you want a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second?
I second.
Okay.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Any discussion?
Aye.
I don't think so.
Yeah, quick question. Are these minutes going to be approved before we change the date, or can we approve them and then change the day after? Does it?
Well, I think she only has to
Oh.
change the date, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
and
asking.
the date of the minutes is okay on the minutes. It's just as an item on the agenda, I put the wrong date on.
She put the wrong.
Thanks, Bua.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right. All right. And our, let me pull it up.
Okay, I sent you, I'm trying to cut down on these reports to make them more readable. I guess the biggest overview is they keep adding more minutes, more things for me to record.
Yeah.
For example, last week there were 8 meetings, and then I also told Human Services that I would be happy to put their noontime lecture on Friday on channel 79 so that the people at home could watch it if they couldn't get on Zoom. And none of it's really throwaway, but it keeps adding up. So I'm really hoping that nobody will schedule anything for the week before Easter, because right now that's completely blank. We'll see. Anything else I can tell you? The preliminary budget hearing will probably be virtual again, as they did last time, so that people can make public comment either in the chat box or by raising their hand and being allowed to speak. They are considering reopening town hall on April 5th, but they haven't committed to having live meetings yet. So we'll see what happens. I think what worries me most thinking about that, and I'll have to take that up with Betsy Yagla when she asked for comments. Some people really want to meet in person again, and others, of course, don't want to. I've been watching there are hybrid meetings put on by the Amity Board of Ed, and it's really hard to hear everybody evenly. The people that are meeting live in the room, you can barely hear, and the people who are coming in by way of Zoom on a smart board are loud and clear. So I'm trying to think ahead to how we might manage it if people decide they want to do it that way.
I know people want to meet again, but I feel like we get so much more attendance in all the meetings that I'm seeing that we broadcast because they are done through Zoom or WebEx or whatever it is.
YouTube.
Yeah.
We get a big following on YouTube for the town plan and zoning hearings. Last one coming up also on April 5th. So the drama is never ending. There was I think I mentioned there was a public hearing in Hartford, not in Hartford, in virtual Hartford last week. And one of the items was an act concerning remote meetings under the Freedom of Information Act, where they're sort of adding the possibility of having a remote meeting among the public meetings that get covered by Freedom of Information. And you want to make sure that you're reaching the public somehow, and also if it's video recorded, make sure that it's available through your website or posted on your website within 7 days, which is not a problem with the YouTube because it's automatically recorded. Anyway, it was interesting because the first person to testify in that was the school board chairman from Reading, who also mentioned that they had far more people attending than they used to. It's convenient. And at the same time, there's one of the ranking members on the committee always uses his opening comments privileges to say, I just have to mention that I really object to holding meetings this way because seniors who don't have Zoom can't attend. And actually, nobody who if you don't have broadband, you can't attend one way or the other. So, but
if you have a cell phone, everyone has a cell phone. I mean, everyone has a cell phone with data. I mean, so you just click on the thing. You don't even have to download the app. So that's not really an excuse.
Well,
even for people with landlines, there is a workaround that I've used for other things, or I've heard used for other things, in which somebody who has a cell phone can set up a party call so they can join the Zoom call, and then they can call their friend at home with a landline and join them into that. So people with a landline can, in fact, join Zoom calls.
right. Anyway, I think the future is coming. They haven't had their joint favorables on that yet, but I think as long as there are variants of the virus out there, I think we have to be ready to do this. When we could shut down again is what I'm trying to say, even if we're only halfway open. It's okay to do. And I think if things really clear up in the next month, I think I'll be ready to start interviewing students from Southern to see if we can get more help on some of these meetings. Find out who can manage open broadcast studios and so forth. Or even cameras if we do it hybrid. We might need a cameraman in the room. So.
I will note that the infection rates are climbing again. So
4.68.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah. So even with the increased vaccination rate, with the current climbing infection rates and the current climbing prevalence of the variants, I would not plan on opening anything before June. But that's just my sort of unofficial working in healthcare perspective.
I wasn't imagining having the annual town meeting out by the gazebo, but it probably will fail for obvious reasons. But
Actually,
it was
where I work, we're making it a requirement for employees to start wearing KN95 masks. So,
okay.
minimum requirements.
Time to buy more, I guess.
I got tons of for the kids. I have them everywhere.
I always keep one in my car in case I forget to bring mine out of the house and I don't want to go back upstairs. As far as money goes, we have enough money. They're paying me for my time. If I run overtime, there's still enough money. And even if we run out of that, I don't think we've even dug into the CAC grant from last year very much yet. Which brings us to the grant project, the Center Gym Public Address System.
Yes.
We received bids on that, and Tony said, I would like you to look at these bids and figure out which one we need to recommend. I don't know much about PA systems. I sort of focused on different speakers and I asked, I don't know if you remember Chris Kelly, used to work for us when he was an Amity student, and now he's the assistant coordinator for OGAT down in Orange.
Nice.
He's also a musician, so I figured he must know sound equipment, and he said he'd have a look at it and get back to me, but I think he's too busy for that, so I haven't heard.
If you want to send them over my way, I don't mind taking a look.
Okay. Basically, it comes down to a couple of them have traditional loudspeakers, install loudspeakers to reach all the way to the back. And a couple of them are looking at like maybe 2 pair or 4 pair of speakers that are sort of ranging down the sides. I will send you the bids and what I found out about the speakers, the links I found about the speakers, because I think that'll tell us something.
Yeah, definitely will.
Okay.
Now,
Thank you, Teresa.
The PA system, are they going to have a mic system built into it that we can plug into, or are we still going to use the sound that's in the auditorium?
It comes with mics.
Okay.
I told them we didn't need a whole lot in the table because it's usually public hearings.
Right.
I'm told that everybody's looking at Shure mics that are supposed to help eliminate echoes and feedback.
Yep.
I noticed that they all looked at the same models for that. So there are 2 wireless, one for, say, the podium and one to go. They're imagining we're going down and passing the microphone around, but probably it would be put up on the stand as we always see in the middle. And it would be built in so that I didn't realize that the PA system we'd been using was always portable and put away, but
yeah,
we're asking for something to be permanently installed on the sidewall in by the stage.
that's good. Yeah, it's the same little portable unit that they use at Beecher.
Yeah. So I'm trying to imagine doing meetings at Beecher again in the library. The sound is very bad there.
Terrible.
Okay, so thank you very much. I will send those to you sometime tomorrow.
Yeah, and Teresa, if you need like a +1 or a co-pilot, someone else to look at it as well,
sure.
I'm happy to. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, listen, I'll just send them both to you in one email. And thank you. Okay. Do you have any questions on any of the reports? Any questions on anything?
No, they actually they look good. I mean, I know we're being very conservative, and we always are with our spending, but I always say that we never know what's going to happen, and with recording a lot of things, something could become, the flavor of the month per se. So we always have to, remember, even though we
You-
have it, it'll probably end up getting used because of, we don't know what things are going to change.
The only flavor that I haven't been able to cover is anything about the cell phone tower.
Mm.
But between Two Orchard Road and the Amity Turf Field, there's a lot to cover. That reminds me, I was thinking about, I was looking at different information on both sides and wondering if I could get permission to pluck out some meeting material around the turf field, like the explanation that the superintendent gave to the Board of Finance before the referendum, and a couple of Conservation Commission meetings where they're talking about asking the selectmen to try and stop it, which I don't think is going to be possible. But sort of a mini documentary.
So you're like putting together like miniatures, like segments of it?
Segments where people are just talking about this, because it's, the meetings will be many topics, but you can follow a chain of the topic through several meetings.
Do you think there's any way that those topics can be strewed into something differently when somebody, is trying to make one kind of point? If we chop things up?
That's why I was going to look up the old presentation, because that's the other point, I guess. Well, also, the last Conservation Commission meeting, they read letters from people who said, no, you really shouldn't try to stop the turf field. It really is going to be all right. And they really need it. So Conservation Commission has both points of view in their meetings.
So I just really worry about moving away from the old, we broadcast from gavel to gavel, because as soon as you start doing the editing and selecting pieces of recording, you open yourself up to the accusations of not being an unbiased partner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. You have to be really careful about that. Yep. People
Yeah, I
say
think we need
pick
to stick
and
to
choose
gavel.
what you wanted.
Okay.
I kind of agree with Alden. I guess I would just kind of add to it that if what you had mentioned that both sides, kind of have representation at some of these meetings, and I guess the longer, showing, bits and pieces could add kind of more of a more context that one side has more
Bias,
support than the other. Yeah, it adds a little bit of a bias. So I just wanted to say I agree kind of.
Okay. Well, some weekend when there's nothing to show, just lining up all the meetings in each in their entirety might be a way.
That's
If any-
That's not a problem.
like people who are trapped at home, really, and they've already binged all their favorites. It was just an idea. Okay, put that one aside. You have better things to talk about, I'm sure.
All right. Our next small purchase reimbursement under business.
Yeah, back in November, I bought access to a recording of a workshop from the series that they held instead of having the conference down in actually, that conference was supposed to be in Chicago last July. So instead they had virtual workshops, and I couldn't attend all of them, but for $60 I had access to a recording. I think it was about government TV operations and small operations. They called themselves small, but they clearly still had more money than we do, which was useful to see, but nothing that I could act on. That was $60, and then I bought some extra foam covers for for the microphones in the main meeting room, because one of them was missing. That was $9, and another SD card for another 19. So I don't know why. These are just things I can put to our conference budget, which we have too much money for because none of the conferences were live, and small technical purchases of what they are. So $79.95 is what I would go for. If you
Okay. So do we have to
Have to
put
approve
in
it.
just a request?
I sort of feel like I should, and if you think it's silly, then we can just start making a policy that I should only bring them to you when they're over a certain amount.
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a, I don't have any problem approving it.
Or if you wanted to do it by general consensus too, I think they would take that as well. Or if you like to make motions, you can make motions.
Motion to reimburse PUA for conference fees.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Any discussion?
No.
Nope. All right, next.
Thank you. Year-end purchases and grant application. I'm trying to imagine what we should get. I think I need to get another version of Adobe Premiere for editing. The one I have now is 2019, and I think the 2021 version has recognizes a new kind of file format called darn, what is it? H296 instead of H294 or something. Anyway, I would be able to edit if anybody sent in videos from their GoPros. I just got one for Christmas. We could put that, we could incorporate that with other videos. And generally, it's probably just a good idea to update once in a while. Grant application. Ideas I had about applying for a grant application. I really would like to get new equipment instead of the 20-year-old FM modulators that we have from Cablevision to send our signal down to Norwalk. We can get send and receive modules for under $10,000 from Radiant Communications. Now I asked, not Cablevision, I asked the Altice representative about this, and she said that sounded good. I said we would need some technical assistance from their technical people, their engineers, and then I never heard from her again. They had a cable advisory council meeting last Thursday, and she abruptly dropped out of the meeting. I guess there was a problem with her Wi-Fi, and she apologized later, but our representatives weren't able to get that question to her yet. It's hard to imagine needing more cameras in the current situation because we're not using the cameras we have right now.
Yeah.
We could again apply for half of whatever we budget for personnel. We did that this year. It helps the town. It's not as if we're asking to completely fund our labor from these grants, which is a bad idea, but it does help the town. Anyway, those are ideas I had, and if you come up with anything later, we have time to think about making an application later. Application isn't due until July.
Oh, you got time.
Can I
Okay.
bring up a suggestion or just an idea I quickly had?
That's what I'm asking for.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, I was thinking you had, and we had kind of brought up this a little bit earlier on, that even if we go to hybrid meetings, or even, God willing, we're all meeting in person soon, I think virtual meetings in some degree are going to be a big part of the future. So is there anything in the grant or anything we could apply for in the grant that would keep our virtual options open, or keep allow us to even expand on that, or expand on access going forward, assuming that this isn't gonna be going away anywhere?
More laptops, more laptop computers. Webcams for some departments that don't have cameras, although the woman who's the land analyst and the zoning enforcement officer takes care of all the land use boards. She doesn't have a camera on her computer, and I'm not sure if it's because she really doesn't want one, but there is equipment that we could buy because it affects our meetings. We could buy it for other departments if their departments are short of funds. Laptops, webcams, better microphones. We could buy people who are using their phones and fumbling with them. I want to get them a $25 stand so it can stand and be a Do you know what I'm talking about, Teresa?
I do. That's why I'm laughing.
I mean, that sounds like money well spent to me. I don't know what everyone else thinks. But.
Sure. I'd be, I could probably buy some of that stuff at the end of the year with the money we have left. But definitely, if I were to hire somebody to help me with virtual meetings, there are ways for them to do it from home. And I wouldn't, bad enough that they're using their own bandwidth for them. I'd rather they not have to use their own computer if necessary.
The only thing about the computer thing is the town tends to stick with desktops, which I understand. That being said, if we start providing laptops, do we then have ownership of maintaining them, updating them? If they have technical issues with them, are we just letting them kind of loan them out? Are they going to be using them for other work purposes? Then one department has a laptop, then Rec's going to want a laptop, then Public Works.
Whoa.
Exactly.
I'm thinking about an extra laptop for anybody working for the department who's taking care of streaming the meeting. And there's an issue about whether it gets used for something else. That's true.
But also, a lot of the departments don't have Wi-Fi, then they're going to have to hardwire, and all of the departments have static IPs because of the firewall. So then if you have to hardwire into the laptop, you're going to have to configure the laptop for the static IPs. Because I know we don't have Wi-Fi in Rec.
I don't know if that's an issue because there's an old Windows 7 laptop that right now I've put into the hands of Nancy Spagnolo. And I don't know that it's ever been configured for the town. We've just, run an Ethernet cable to it when we were using it at town hall.
I know, but
yeah.
maybe for the town hall, maybe if it's just an Ethernet port in the wall, but if you're doing a lot of the offices, like Rec is one of them, they have a firewall with dedicated IP addresses.
Yeah. In any case, I was just thinking of laptops for people in our department.
Okay.
Say to lend to, yeah.
Quick question.
Over last summer, we had 3 meetings going at a time sometimes.
Right.
Usually, the Woodbridge Board of Ed was going far into the night as they were trying to figure out how the year was going to be. And I had Ryan Anastasio out in the hallway with one laptop and Nancy on the other side of the meeting room with one. And I was, I think I had my computer for a while, using it to get it to channel 79.
Yeah, if it's for our department, I think it's a great idea.
So I don't think it would be more than 1 or 2 of those.
So quick question for Matt. Matt, was that what you had in mind when you asked, or were you asking more about the general capabilities just across all commissions, Just want to make sure.
That's a great question. I guess, like I said, I'm still kind of finding getting my feet wet in this, so I don't know everything that we have going into this. I think if there's something we can use, like the laptops, that'll help our capability, that's great. I guess I also am wondering if there's anything else we could do beyond this, because it sounds like we have some money to play with. If there's something we could do to maybe make this, maybe make maybe make some of these meetings more accessible for younger people. Younger people who may not, I guess, may not be going just to TV, or may not be able to make their in person.
We do get our meetings to YouTube as much as possible. Sometimes when there's a conflict, well, last Thursday I sent the finance meeting was only on channel 79 because it was overlapping with the special town plan and zoning meeting. And I sent that to YouTube because I knew there were lots of people from out of town that wanted to watch that meeting. What I didn't know was that a lot of the Beach Road school people were waiting to watch finance to find out what finance was going to do with their budget, and they couldn't find it on YouTube. So I told them I would just put it up later for them. But
I guess anything that ultimately improves our capability and our capability to cope with increasing reliance on technology, I guess I would be in support of. I guess that's what I'm kind of going with here.
okay.
So I'd hop in with a couple thoughts related to that. One is if it makes sense to get another Premiere Pro license. And, especially like a cloud-based one, so that if we had somebody else who could edit for us, that they could use the cloud-based license, edit wherever, and send us the videos.
Yeah.
So-
we have been putting the tech support for the TriCaster TC1 has been going on as an annual item. So a license should technically fall under the same thing. And I'm sure that the advisory council would probably approve that. So let me price that out.
Right.
Okay.
So, and then another one sort of related back to Matt's question, one that probably the advisory commission will be less inclined to, but is still worth considering, is, the thing that I was driving home from was it's a weekly broadcast that we do. The community health center, the city of Middletown, the various nonprofits, business community, etc., that we do as a Zoom webinar, and then we live stream Facebook. And give the question of making it available on to attract other people. Yeah, my video's a little flaky right now. Is that I've been streaming them out to Periscope and Twitch using Restream. And you can do some of that for free if you wanted to broadcast to a wider array of platforms. That's one that something like Restream you might want to get a license for.
Okay. If we have YouTube, do you think streaming to Facebook is a good idea?
I like to use as many platforms as possible, get people where they are.
Okay.
If I could hop in as well, I especially think Facebook's a great idea to stream on. I love that idea by Alden, because what Facebook can also do is send notifications to people on this on their send notifications to people when a meeting they want to watch is going to start. It's so easy for people to lose track of these things in real time, and forget that something's happening. Facebook reminds you, and a lot of people use it.
Okay.
Are we able to, since it is a town meeting, it's government access, gavel to gavel, is that something we would be able to do, is stream it to Facebook?
Well, there is an official town Facebook page that's in Betsy Yaglow's hands. So part of that would involve whether she can handle it or she's willing to let me or somebody else in our, one of our staff have administrative privileges to set up the live stream. And I would hesitate to stream it to anything else besides the official town page. Other platforms. Anyway, okay, other platforms in general.
So not to burst Matt's bubble, was there any other ideas that you had that you were thinking of, Matt?
I think that's all I have for right now.
Cool.
Like I said, there's time for other ideas to come along.
Right, let's see where we are.
So any of these, we can look at funds that are left from the grant last year, and anything else we might want to get next year.
Could we offer maybe some kind of, would any kind of cloud storage help us out, or cloud recording where we can offer the videos at a better compressed rate for them maybe to post on the town's Facebook page? And then people get notified of the video being posted, but it's just not, they're not viewing it live. Because when you do it through a cloud storage, sometimes it's compressed. Well, it is compressed. So it'd be easier for them to upload.
It's pretty compressed on YouTube already.
Yeah.
I think. We used to have that subscription service with Discover Video, which Govt still uses, but people weren't finding it. It was just everybody knew where YouTube was, so that it was easier for them to sign up for that, and no subscription was involved for us. I'll check with Betsy and see what she thinks about getting those available on YouTube. Well, the whole concept of streaming to YouTube at the same time. It's supposed to be possible to do that from with the TC1 from Town Hall, to stream to YouTube and Facebook at the same time and have it on TV.
Will your computer be able, I don't want to use the word support, but is it going to have enough gusto behind it?
The TC1 has the gusto. The laptop is just to feed the meeting, or the virtual part of the meeting, into the TC1.
Sometimes
TC1 was kind of an elephant gun when we bought it, I thought, but it's pretty robust.
Sometimes I find when I screen share plus stream at the same time plus on the video, sometimes I find
Something.
large lag.
Okay.
That's what I was only throwing it out there.
Okay, I've got one really wild idea that came through because of some junk mail that came from one of the vendors. if we do have a hybrid meeting, I've noticed that Amity does it with a smart board so that the Zoom part of the meeting is on the smart board and other people are in the meeting room. If we got a smart board to replace the projector screen that's currently in the meeting room, that might be a luxurious looking expense that at least is helping the meeting along if we have hybrid meetings. There's also something called a video wall. I guess people use it for presentations. It's a little bit like the downstairs conference room in the fire station. Or not quite. I guess the wall is it would be one big video picture, so you could show a movie, for example.
Would this go in the main meeting hall and town hall?
Well, that's one idea.
We know how much those go for?
No, I don't. Oh, I did. I looked it up and I don't know where I put the notes. 5 figures anyway. Sort of a dream piece. You know, we should see what the other towns are doing with their money.
We also should see maybe if we can compare ourselves. I don't want to say compare ourselves, but also see what other towns are doing virtually right
Sure.
now. Are they looking into hybrids? Are they starting to, you know, kick around ideas of hybrid methods? Are they already doing it? What works? What doesn't work?
Some of them have their meetings up on YouTube. I can check that out.
Maybe they had to get some
what
kind of
they-
extra equipment. Maybe they got, you know, even iPads for some people who did. I just say the word iPad, but it's tablets for some of the hybrids. So like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, if you're a department, you check these out. If you have some, you know, that are going to be in the department and you need to social distance, but you're still in the same building kind of deal, and you don't have webcam, so you can almost like check them out. You know, they sign them out, you leave them at the town hall, but it's all departments, you know, all of our departments kind of things. I think we should see how other towns are doing, if they're doing a hybrid or how they're doing their virtual meeting.
Yeah.
I think we're doing a great job, but
These are good ideas. Yeah.
there's always that smoke machine that we can get, you know, and the strobe light.
Well, if they have concerts on the green again this summer, then yeah, it would. There are things we could do. There are things we could do.
Yeah, with Teresa once a month. It's okay.
Okay. I had intended to submit some of our short videos by to the National Hometown Video Awards. I just couldn't sit down and click through the things to get to the links, but it just felt really expensive. And the regionals for the Northeast will be coming up soon. So I was thinking of doing that anyway. I had a couple that Ryan had done, excuse me, about how businesses were installing safety precautions to reopen. So I think he liked the one from Amity Bowl. Those are up on Facebook. I had the one that I made last summer to show where you go to pay your taxes. If you want to pay in person, you can go to the window in the front.
Riveting.
Well, it happened that the Inland Wetlands Commission agency was told, oh, where do you go to pay? Oh, yeah. Oh, they're really nice. And they're only certain hours, so be careful. And I had all the shots that show the sign about when it was open. And Pat Crisco in the window with her mask on laughing. That's something I would submit to the next Nor'easters. And the submission fees are like $40, $35 a piece. So
What do they usually show at that kind of convention? What kind of movies? Movies, videos, documentaries?
well, they'll submit entire videos. I had you guys do the judging once. For,
I remember the ones about the squirrel.
yeah.
I
and
remember
they
one
would
about-
say you only have to watch 10 minutes of anything. They'll send you the entire hour and a half of something.
I love the squirrel one. Mary and I
but,
watched it. I remember.
I remember you.
We like
and
those. I miss not doing that, actually.
Really? Be careful what you say,
Oh.
because they're always looking for judges.
Mary,
No,
what-
and it's easier this time.
what-
We don't have to get together to do it because they just send links. They send you the link and everybody
would
can
do
look
it.
at the link. There you go.
I would
Okay.
do it.
I
would
will
do it.
keep you in mind.
There wasn't the
it-
one
okay.
about cooking. I think there was one about a guy did Play-Doh or something like that, and
Yes,
squirrel one.
yes.
Mary, I love the
There's
squirrel
a
one.
claymation one.
Yeah.
There was the one that was from not Queens, but east of Queens. Great Neck. There's a video from Great Neck. Yeah, they can be fun. And since they're virtual, gee, maybe we should make a watch party out of it somehow. But anyway, that won't come up until this summer. But I do intend to submit for those, and there should be money in the conference budget that would cover that easily. So that's all the business I have for you, and I thank you very much for all the recommendations, because I will look up stuff and see what it costs or what it would take to get it done.
Very good.
So,
So,
especially Matt, if you have any other questions, please feel free to email or call us anytime.
yeah.
And I guess maybe I'll send you everybody's, oh, you have everybody's email already, so.
Yeah, Paul knows that if I don't pick up the first time, usually call the second or text me because
Or
I'm
Facebook Messenger.
So the way I'm gonna put my number in the chat real quick too, just in case anyone wants it.
Okay. And the chat, y'all have the chat? Where's the chat? There it is.
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna copy and paste
Available
that
to
one.
hide the chat feature once you've if you stream this,
I'm sorry,
Sorry,
say
what?
it again?
or the streaming, because if you're streaming this, the chat feature, is that going to show? Because we don't want to hand out Matt's phone number to everybody.
Oh, no.
I don't care. You can call me if you want.
In fact, I'm not streaming it. Just because
Just like,
it's so easy to make a mistake between one piece of software to relay software to the. I just gave up on that. I just thought it was safer to just record it, get it out there as fast as possible. And your hair looks especially pink and lovely tonight, by the way. I think it looks pinker than when you put it up on Facebook.
turning 38. I think it's this weekend. Yeah, March 28th. I'm going to be 38. So there you
That's
go.
a good age. Yeah.
Trying a different shade. I've done blonde my entire life. It's the most daring thing I've ever done, next to having twins.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Me
the chance I am though. So
and my dreams of a tattoo.
no, not for me.
Okay.
This I could always
Hey, Poa.
Yes.
Poa, I just heard on the news today. There is an ink that they can now
Yes.
do a tattoo with that will only last a year.
Yeah, I heard that on Wait, Don't Tell Me on Saturday. They said,
Oh, did you? I think no. I just heard it. I just heard it the other day. I forget where I heard it, but
oh,
yeah,
okay.
I was thinking about it. I've always wanted one too.
There is also, I think the grand tradition of henna painting might cover the same territory, but
Yeah,
only one
yeah.
color. Only one color. Okay. Um,
Alrighty. So
that's all the
That's it.
business I
That's
have for
it.
you.
Matt got to see everyone's lovely face, even mine, Toby's, Alden's, Mary's. We'll see you again. Well, as long as we get to hear your lovely voice, that's all that's important. So I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
I will
Sounds good to
yeah.
me.
Sounds good.
Great. 8:34. Next meeting, April 27th.
Whatever holiday you celebrate coming up soon, I hope it is beautiful festival and you get to spend it in some way, shape, or form with the people you love.
Yes. Amen.
Good. Yep.
Okay.
Have a
Thank you,
great
guys.
night.
Thank you.
Here, everyone.